Can't be asked to introduce anything. If you're looking at a title, you know what it is, don't you? So go fuck yourself. Go get lost in a national park. That was a story. Interesting story this week. Did anyone, when the boyfriend comes home without the girlfriend that they went to the national park with? I mean, there's no other option, is there? You know.
Yeah. You better hope that a bear takes a chunk out your arm. That's the only way you're getting away with that. I'm not suggesting anyone should be getting away with anything. I'm just saying, that's the only story I'm believing.
Yeah, have they found him yet? Because he did a runner, didn't he? Which is also not suspicious.
Yeah, his mum and dad helped him, didn't they?
I'm very ignorant of this story. I'm sorry. Is it a
some-
guy with the scratches on his face? I saw some little video of a policeman looking at a man going,
Have a look.
"Look, your missus is missing, and you've got scratches on your face." And I'll be honest, this guy wasn't a detective, all right, but he had drawn certain inferences that I think are absolutely fair. And yeah, so I don't know if that's a completely different case.
He was still at large the other day. The FBI are looking for him. So I hope it ends in some kind of siege. Like, not, I don't want it to be death by carpet. Just like some kind of armed siege. It's always more interesting.
It's your classic boy meets girl, lives in a van with her, and dumps a corpse in the forest. Story. Classic.
Well, if guns were legal, there would have been a couple of open micers that had done this in, like, I don't know, a park in Bristol, sort of our equivalent of a national park. We haven't really got one, have we? We've got the New Forest, but it's just ponies and stuff.
Wild boar.
There was a big when I lived down in Southampton, there was a big fucking wild boar that was knocking people off horses. It was fucking massive, and they it's real. It's real. Let me find it.
How's it knocking them off?
It's running, charging the horses, and they're flipping off the.
Just taking their legs out.
That's cool, man. That's cool. No, that's why fox hunting should be legal. Like, it should be legal and like have a competitive edge to it. It should be all of nature versus you. Yeah. You get a horse on a spear, and then everything else is like, all right, then game on.
I think it should start. Hunt your horse.
Yeah. Boar are super aggressive, aren't they? They look like they taste lovely, though.
They're very posh sort of type of pork, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like it would
a
be
wild
a nice
boar sausage.
Oh yeah.
Yes. No. Yeah. Maybe. Like, why is it wild? Did you wrangle this boar? Yeah. There's a lot roaming in there. I think didn't animal rights activists let them all out like 20 years ago, and now they're just everywhere.
Yeah, I think they breed like crazy as well. In America, you can hunt them from helicopter.
Yes. What's his name?
There's is it Texas? There's an unlimited hunting tag where you can just go with a fucking automatic weapon and just
go hog wild.
They have these crazy traps, don't they? They have those crazy traps that drop down like a big circle, and they catch about 30 wild boar, and then they just go around with a shotgun and just bang, 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 bang. And like, obviously they run away each time because it's a loud noise, so it would startle them. But they run away, and then they all sort of regroup, and then they just go back over to the group and bang, and they just keep doing that until they're all on the floor.
You do. I was in Arizona a few years ago, and they have, I think they're called Javelina desert pigs.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
They'll eat your dog. Because I remember my friend out there had pets on the balcony, and you have to get them in, because if they just roam the neighborhood and eat all the vegetables, they'll just storm a residential area and just take dogs and stuff. Little dogs, obviously.
There's those pigs that have teeth that grow back into their skulls, aren't there? Funny little island pigs.
I've not seen that one. This is a Javelina thing. Just make sure my porn's closed. This fucking thing running at you. These dirty teeth as well.
They are quite yellow.
Yeah. But yeah, Arizona was good. I had lovely Mexican food there, and that's about it. Too hot for me though. Desert. It was the same temperature as LA, but you got the sea and the breeze there. But going to Arizona, I tried to go on a hike, and I lasted I think 10 minutes, and I got a headache. I was like, nah, back in the air conditioning.
They have Death Valley there. Arizona?
I think that's California, but Nevada, all that New Mexico. It's just it can get. I had a mate from New Mexico, and he said it gets to like 50 degrees.
Jesus.
And if you can't have exposed metal in your car, like on the gear shift and stuff, because you'll get proper burns.
Someone told me the other day that in LA they don't have tarmac; it's all concrete, so because it melts.
That's a good point. It does get hot.
You forget, don't you, how terrible we are at choosing places to build cities.
Yeah, LA is just a desert with no water supply,
lava pit, and with no natural running water, and that'll probably be fine. And let's make sure that everyone that matters lives there.
There's an episode of King of the Hill.
Harvey Weinstein.
Is he still in? Is he still in jail? Isn't he? Is he still in?
I think he's still in prison, but Cosby might have set a bit of a precedent. So Cosby was the ultimate baller with this because they offered him to come out a month early, and he said no because he would have had to admit guilt. And he said, "There's no fucking way I'm admitting anything," and he was out in a month.
Yeah, and and now everyone thinks he's innocent, so that worked.
Well, his wife from the TV show always thought he was innocent. I think he's coming out of a court somewhere, and he does the hey. Like
he did do convicted. A bit. He did a bit going in and a bit coming out. Like he is committed to the bit.
Listen, YouTube special coming in 2022, hopefully.
It wouldn't shock me. I'm sure he's probably trying to book dates.
Someone said that Legion of Skanks had booked him.
I think they might have been joking about it, but
right. Someone said that. Someone was saying it very sincerely that they thought that.
Yeah, I think they were joking about putting him on at Skankfest, which is in Texas this year, I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But why not? Why not reach out?
I tell you what, it would. I'd say, Carl, you're not past doing this. Why don't you ask him to come on? Because even getting I think to get I'm sorry, but I'm not willing to go on your podcast email from Bill Cosby.
It would be phenomenal. I'd have it framed. Behind me.
Despite the current circumstances, I refuse to.
Bill, big fan. Loved your 80s stuff. Would you like to come on? Yeah, no, I'm going to reach out to his people. He probably still has people, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think he still has a small but very ardent group of people that are convinced of his innocence and will not be swayed. Similar to Michael Jackson, I suppose.
Michael Jackson, OJ had big fans. I think. Yeah, he had fans outside the courthouse.
Yeah. I mean, with Michael Jackson, it's slightly different, isn't it? Because he's the king of pop. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's yes. But yeah. OJ said the other day, actually, he's still doing his "I'm innocent" thing. Like real, he said, "I'm too scared to, I'm very anxious when I'm in LA because I always think that I could be sat next to whoever did it."
Right, he did.
Oh, Oj, mate. At some point, you just got to wonder who do you think you're kidding, man?
You nearly, because when I watched the documentary, I went down a rabbit hole when they released that Netflix show, and I didn't realize he almost cut her head off. It wasn't just stabbed her. I think her head was down to like the last nerve.
Yeah, mutilation.
I think he was down to his last nerve, and then
well, she was probably.
It's not
probably too much of that, wasn't it?
Oh no, man! I regret this. But yes, he was let's put it this way: whoever did it was extremely athletically capable. Had an impressive VO2 max because I think it was like 80 individual wounds across. You know what I mean? Like it was a long.
You'd have to be a football player.
You'd have to be extremely strong. and committed to it. You know, so yeah. I mean, I've seen some of those corrupt LAPD police officers, and whilst I don't deny their potential for violence, I would say that they never looked really up to that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe. What if we're wrong, man? I do think it sometimes.
I know. What if he is innocent?
Could you genuinely is innocent? Like,
yeah, you see, it was like the ultimate Black Lives Matter case, right? He's just been fitted up.
It's not beyond the realms of possibility. It's very, very nearly beyond the realms of possibility. I would say
they killed Biggie
beyond all reasonable doubt. I would say that, but yeah,
I love this. When he lost the civil case, all the rights to this book went to the family of his ex. I can't remember her name. It's really bad, isn't it? But they re-released his book, If I Did It, and just made the if really small.
It's there. It's inside the eye. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently that book is phenomenal. I haven't read it, but years ago, Opie and Anthony, Louis C.K. and Jim Norton did like a 2 or 3 hour when they had their old Sirius show. It's on YouTube somewhere. They did a whole thing where they reviewed the book. They got like a press copy. It's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. They just tear it apart. But I do need to read it. But yeah, hello Twitter world. Are you still doing that? Is he on Twitter?
Oh, I don't know. Since Norm, I have no reason to go on Twitter anymore.
If you look at the replies to him though, it's all just knife emojis.
Have you seen him do that joke with the reporter? He did a funny bit. He was being interviewed after the case had been, after he was found innocent. There was an interview a couple of years later with this reporter, and as a funny joke, she went to go and find him, and he was hiding behind a door, and did an imitation of the film Psycho, where he pretended to stab at the woman repeatedly through the window. Wow. It is. I mean, it's pretty special, isn't it?
Funny, pretty funny.
He's got a sense of humor. Yeah.
Is that O.J. Simpson banana stabbing prank?
I don't know about bananas. Maybe was he holding a banana? I thought he was. Maybe he was. I don't know. Maybe he was. In my mind, you see, this is why evidence is very important, because I'm just recounting things now, and maybe I'm selling OJ short. Because if he had a banana, that's a next level, skit.
YouTube will probably complain.
Psycho? Which version of Psycho is he reenacting? The original?
This is it.
Or the... God. He's smiling though, so that's fine.
I forgot it was probably... Yeah, there you go, eh?
Wow.
Phenomenal.
So at least he's not recreating the Vince Vaughn version of Psycho, because weirdly they remade Psycho almost shot for shot and word for word exactly the same, but in color with oh God, what's his name? I just said it. Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates, and the only difference, other than that it's color and the actors, is that Vince Vaughn has a wank in the remake, which he doesn't do in the original.
Why?
Yeah. It was was it Gus Van Sant did that? It was one of those Dogma people as well. It was a very, very strange affair.
Yeah.
I really don't know who it was for or why.
I think it was Vince.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. He does end up in some weird stuff. Someone was describing that Brawling Cell Block 44 or whatever it is.
Oh God, yeah, that's a weird film. Yeah.
And it's like, why is Vince Vaughn in this?
Yeah.
And he's like, bless him. He's very large. He's a very big person, so I can sort of understand it from that aspect. But I'm sure this was a directorial choice. But he just seems excruciatingly slow at fighting, like bad at it. And the whole point of the film is that he's incredibly good at it, but he's not good at it. Right, so I think they were going for it. Like as this guy just doesn't really care. He's just big and slow and will take a kicking. But it's like, why move that slowly whilst you're being stabbed? Like you don't seem interested in it. But yeah, I don't know. Very odd. It's a strange one.
I've not seen too much of Vince Vaughn. I've seen him in a few bits and pieces, but he's an oddball, isn't he?
He's about. He was in the second and much maligned series of True Detective, wasn't he?
That's right. That weird series, right?
He does. He seems to seek out these things to be like, look, I cannot be Vince Vaughn, and every time it fails. So, Vince, we want you to. You are inescapably Vince Vaughn. Just do that. That seems to be what the public wants. Like
everyone just wants him to be that character in Swingers, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's not, I'm not having a go. I mean, he's very good at what he's trying to do, I'm sure, but he seems to end up in roles that are so unnecessarily unpleasant. It's like, just one step at a time. It's like The Rock started doing films, like he started doing action films. You know what I mean? If he went straight in for some sort of, I don't know, miserablest Mike Lee kitchen sink drama about domestic abuse or whatever, it would seem like a bridge too far. Maybe for
I would love to see The Rock in a remake of Sophie's Choice, or
as one of the children. Just the most difficult casting possible, but he would do it, and he would claim to have done it the best, and everyone would believe him. I can't wait for whatever it is that The Rock is, like whatever evilness The Rock has been up to, and there has been some. Like we must have to accept this. I can't wait for it to come out.
See, he could have killed OJ's wife.
For anyone's cancellation or anything like that, I genuinely don't. But just the level of wholesomeness that this man tries to project, alongside the
something's going on,
insane success, just insane of everything. Like why don't I just have an incredibly popular energy drink / clothing company / production company / acting career / wrestling career / everything, and all of it has to be the best? It's like why?
He's on the Stairmaster 12 hours a day. It's too much. There's something's going on.
Adrenal glands, mate. There's no way for it.
I started watching a program where they're trying to allude that Hitler was a vampire, and I'm kind of.
I like the fact that
it's a great premise.
State of Hitler. You got to allude to it. You can't come out and say it. It's mental.
It's not the main focus of the story. It's just like they just allude to it, and I'm quite down with that. I think that all the Hollywood elites, they're not having sex with children. They're just eating them. They're just
that is right at the end of the conspiracies around that, right? That they're eating their adrenal glands.
Yeah, I think that's
like Hillary Clinton's just got a child in a burger. I believe it.
No, yeah, it makes sense to me. Just 100% makes sense to me. I first heard of people eating adrenal glands when I first saw Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and it just made sense then, and it makes more sense now. Yeah, no, it's clear to me. It's clear.
Well, billionaires always seem to be into finding out how to live forever, right? Cryogenic freezing, gene therapy, anything they can do.
I was thinking about this a minute ago. I've always been worried. This is pathetic. But my one mild worry about if I was ever to be rich, I'd always assume that I'd be incredibly afraid of dying. Because if you're rich, there's so many options for stuff that you can go and do. It would seem like a waste not to go and do it all, if you know what I mean. So I'd be like, I'd be afraid of. I'd be more afraid of getting on a plane if I was rich. Because I'll be like, maybe I'll die and I'll miss out on whatever. I know I'm not including, suckling on an adrenal gland in this stuff that you should do before you die. I'm thinking more of a nice holiday or something. But when rich people get so rich, they get private planes. I'm like, don't go.
Those little planes are stupid.
All rich people die on planes and helicopters. I don't do that.
Go on a 747, but in the front.
Do a Travolta. Fly your own plane. Get your own. I don't know.
It seems like Maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the answer. I've been in a tiny plane in Peru and over the Nazca lines, and they were fucking. It was beautiful, but I was just being sick the whole time because they kept flinging it on its side so you can see, and then to this side. But when you're in, it was about 8 feet long, this fucking thing, or maybe about 10 feet. But you feel everything, every little movement. Like, nah, I'm not getting on a little plane just because it looks cool.
I don't like getting on a big plane. Like, I just wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to myself. Just, that turns my stomach. The thought of getting on a plane, just me sat in my living room, I feel queasy.
As I said before, though, my pandemic planning was learning how to fly a helicopter by YouTube videos. So I think I can get one in the sky. I won't be able to land it, but there's a part of me that wants to start having lessons.
If there's one thing that Kobe and Colin McRae have proved, is that anyone can get a helicopter into the sky, but it is getting it back down that's the tricky thing.
Or not flying into a mountain in the mist.
Well, I know Ari Shafir is still dealing with the fallout of his Kobe stuff. Mine's much lighter, but I'm actually genuinely, I think it's one of the funniest jokes I've ever written, and I'm going to say I wrote it. Fuck it. It was on the day of Kobe Bryant's death, and it was when Rope Walk was still running, so that's how long ago it must have been. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of, obviously terrible news about Kobe Bryant's death, or dying in that helicopter accident. But then he is very tall. It's like, I can't remember the exact wording. Obviously, the wording is extremely important. But if you are 7 feet tall, why you're going anywhere near a helicopter, I don't know. I mean, it seems wantonly. Don't stand up. Why? Well, it seems wanton. But
yeah, I kind of forgot. I forgot about. I think 2 or 3 of us had. I think you had one, George. I had one like pretty soon, pretty much on the day. But I can't remember because when the pandemic happened, people forgot about Kobe, and then they forgot pretending. Do you remember when people were pretending to care about Australian animals burning to death right before the pandemic? Right, all the koalas going in the bushfire. I think there were charity gigs on about it.
People,
right? But that people just forgot that all that got pushed out the way by, the bad.
Sarah
the bad
Harding
flu.
now.
Is it Sarah Harding? What's happened there?
Sarah Harding. She died of breast cancer.
But
just before she died of breast cancer, the girl from Girls Aloud, the woman.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. She died of breast cancer, and just before she died, they had a press conference because she said that she needed to get something off her chest.
George Willoughby, everybody.
George Willoughby at gmail.com for any complaints. That was not in the script, but that is, yeah. I like you got to go in on the recently cancerous deaths.
Charity gigs for good causes are great. Obviously, like it's a nice instinct that people have to do that. But sometimes the cause itself, I think, it should prevent you from going down comedy as a a money raising thing. Because I saw one advertised that people were in all earnestness applying for, and it was a charity gig for the Memorial Foundation of Jamie Bolger.
Oh my god!
And I'm not sure stand up is what you know what I mean. You can't really bring that to because someone's got to introduce that night, and it'll be like, thanks for coming and supporting this cause. And we all know what this cause is, yeah. We remember the specific details of this cause and what we're here for, yeah. And now, comedy, madness to me. Like I assumed it was a real off-key joke that someone had did. It was not, and there was a lot of people who I thought, what are you doing? You're go like genuinely like going to like what a wonderful idea. This is brilliant. Of course, I would love to support this. And then, I ended up with a lot of side WhatsApps with people about why this might not be a great idea.
They should just
And
make
yeah,
it
I'm not brave. I'm not brave enough to say, but I just assumed that this was a magnet. Surely this is going to be a magnet for comics, because this is a comics only forum it's going out into. So surely this is a magnet for lots of funny bad taste jokes. Not one was made, not one publicly, but several were made privately that were better than the entirety of that gig could ever have been.
Yeah, I mean it is asking for it, isn't it? Not the details of the case, but you're getting the 10 best train track jokes.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm not going to do any of the jokes, obviously, that came out of it, but let's just say I'm surprised that they had a headliner.
Do you know what? I need to throw away all the McCann jokes. Bring back Bolger. We all forget.
I don't know why I've introduced this as a subject, but I would just say sometimes comedy's not the answer to something, and I think maybe that's one of them. But yeah,
it is an.
Go on, sorry, I was going to.
Yeah, I said it is a weird choice. I only did one charity gig, and it was for children with cancer, and I did make a series of cancer jokes. What I didn't know is some of the parents of those children were in the audience, but
why would you not assume that, Carl?
Now when I said that out loud in public, yeah.
I'll be honest. The only audience I would assume at that gig would be children with cancer and the parents of children with cancer. Well, it's not like the parents of children with cancer are taking a day off to go. Do you know what I mean? Oh, luckily Timmy's got a gig to go to. I'm gonna go.
All right, I fucked up, but I think I wasn't brave enough to look anyone in the eye, but I think they were laughing.
Okay.
Maybe they were crying. I don't know. You can't tell at that stage, can you?
It's good of you to do it, man. It's good of you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, eh?
But I think I followed an old lady.
That always happens with. I presume you weren't paid for this gig, by the way.
Almost certainly not.
Because it's always a ticking sort of clock until some angry comic goes, "What's the fee for this?" And they go, "There's no fee. It's for charity." And they go, "Well, I bet the bar staff are still getting paid, but the cleaners are still getting paid." And then they're like, comedy is all right, mate. This one's not for you. You don't have all right. This was not for you. Just let this one go.
Yeah,
I understand that point. I do, but it's
But most of those people complaining on Facebook aren't doing comedy. They're spending all day on Facebook writing points.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why you'd choose to do that personally.
And also, if they want, they could work as a bar staff or a fucking whatever.
Yeah,
and they do.
Yeah,
they do. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
I think it's odd when they have charity gigs for mental health, and I mean, obviously, Jamie Bolger is worse, but I think it's odd when they have stand-up.
He's worse than mental.
Health. No, it's not. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. It's not like a league table. It's just like you were saying, Greg. Maybe stand-up isn't the one. I mean, stand-up comedians are probably people who are in the category of affected mental health anyway.
You
wouldn't get Magic Johnson for an AIDS benefit, would you?
You definitely would. The man's the biggest success story for money beating AIDS there could ever be.
Yeah, that was when AIDS was real, wasn't it? And now it's that you take a couple of pills and it's like less dangerous than diabetes, I guess, unless. Well, I think it is. A lot of people just live with it now. They're like, "Give me that AIDS, I'll just take the pills. It's fine." But when Magic Johnson had it, everyone was just dying of AIDS.
I cannot wait for doctors to start saying that AIDS is safer than diabetes.
They should do a campaign.
Go and eat AIDS-infected jizz rather than sugar.
Well, there we are. It's 10% of the NHS budget is diabetes. I don't know what HIV is, but I imagine it's minuscule compared to that. I think diabetes is like the biggest expenditure on one single condition. It is. It's expensive though, so you know.
Oh no, I just mean people with it. I just mean the people with it are rough. Like they stink of piss. You know.
Well, the self-inflicted diabetes, yeah. There's a type 1 and type 2. Which one do you develop? The one where you get the keeping eating, and then keeping
good
eating
AIDS and bad AIDS. Good AIDS and bad AIDS. If you got good diabetes that you didn't give to yourself by mainlining Haribo, that's fine. You got bad diabetes from mainlining Cherry Coke.
Coke Zero. So
Cherry Coke Zero. Cherry Coke
Zero.
I got Fanta Zero. So yeah, I mean it's basically orange water that I'm drinking.
Yeah, we can say what we want from our positions of glucose privilege. Water.
But don't they reckon that is it tartazine or all the fake sugars that they put in those things?
Terrible. It's got to be terrible.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah. It's amazing that you can find something that has absolutely no nutritional value, but it's consumable. So if you were in the forest and you had a barrel of aspartame, that's it. If you had a barrel of it, you could eat the whole thing and starve to death. There's nothing, it will pass through you unaffected by your digestive system at all.
How did humans do this? What a stupid. I mean, if there's a god or aliens watching, what are we doing?
I think probably give yourself a tumor if you ate a barrel of aspartame.
I don't know why I've plucked that scenario out the air. I think it's something I heard once, but yeah, it just amazed me that you can eat something that allegedly is fine for you, but it was also, it's not technically a consumable thing.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Coke is black water. It's not going to be good for you. 30 years of that it's pick your cancer, isn't it? Really, we're going to get it. So just pick.
I was in a shop and a man ordered. He ordered Blue Crisp, Black Pop, Red Forefinger, and he got a packet of salt and vinegar crisps, a can of Coke, and a Kit Kat.
I know exactly. That is exact order. I'm like, that's nice. That's a good lunchtime starting. It's snack based, but it's it's fine.
He could have got cheese and onion flavored Golden Wonder from the 90s.
Well, Walker's are green, so it must have been the squares, must have been a McCoy's or Chipstick.
There you go. Or Doritos. Maybe he was eating some Doritos. Didn't seem like the kind of guy who'd eat international foods.
Why don't we have? What I hate is when you go abroad and they have the different flavored crisps. Why don't we have those here? I know it wouldn't be abroad then, would it? But the delicacies of the different flavored Lays.
Paprika.
In Brazil, they have cream cheese Cheetos, and they are the best fucking thing I've ever eaten. I must have eaten 20 bags of them when I was out there. Insane.
I'll tell you why. A lack of lorry drivers, guys.
Do you know what? When the movie about this fuel crisis is made, starring The Rock beating up OJ's missus, that's fucking. You fucking know. I'm trying to buy a car this week mid fuel shortage. I might just leave it.
No, it's for the
best.
So many thanks for prostitutes, though, isn't there? Less lorry drivers.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Yes, that's true. Yeah. I wonder if the murder rate has gone down.
Years ago, I worked in a warehouse and a lorry driver died outside and no one knew for 3 days because he came at the weekend and he parked up his container and had a heart attack in his cab. And we went in Monday. Police.
Bloody hell.
Get that container open, you lazy man. Oh.
So, yeah, well, I hope it wasn't full of meat or...
No, these were skateboards that we designed here, then made the Chinese build for next to nothing.
Nice. Do you want to hear a frightening story that brings all those items together?
Yes.
Why not?
Absolutely.
I had a friend, this was years ago when I was working cleaning hospital theatres. There's a guy there and he used to love surfing. I think he might even be like a proper surfer now. I don't know. But that's all he ever did and talked about. He was the surfing kid. No, fair enough. And he used to work in a surf shop as well as clean hospital theatres with me. And there was a consignment of surfboards that arrived from China, and they were unpacking them all. And as they were unpacking them all, a blue spider emerged from this package from China, and
crisps.
he swears to God, it smelled of cheese and onion, and it hissed. He swears it made a hissing sound. It's quite frightening, isn't it? And I went, "What did you do with this spider?" And they went, "We put it in the hedge." So
the prime.
Don't go to Saunton. All right.
The prime breeding ground for spiders, I think, is a hedge.
Yeah, I hope not. Not to be horrible to said spider, but I do hope it perished almost immediately.
Yeah, I hope it was a holocaust for that spider. So is that in Devon, Saunton?
It is in Devon. I would mark it off as a no-go area.
Actually, working at that place, we must have got a Chinese spider, I guess, come in, because it was a tiny little thing on a box, just eating my lunch. And I put my finger near it. You know, an English spider will fuck off or you can brush it away, but this thing reared up. It's like, I'll bite you if you go near
I've seen one of that. I've seen that in a box of bananas
needs to
when I
die.
worked in a shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hit it with a hammer. Yeah.
Was it a big spider? Did it?
No, it was quite small. Like, you know,
I drowned a mouse once.
Yeah, my mate had a chameleon. They're really difficult to look after, and yeah, he
They just constantly sing "Boy George."
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, they're always on the telephone. But no, they're very difficult to keep and very complex creatures to get the dietary requirements right. And if you don't feed them properly with all the supplements, apparently their bones get very brittle and like they just snap for toffee. And so my mate took this chameleon to the vet. And now you would have thought that a vet would be compassionate and be like, well, I'll just put that animal out of its misery. No, they charge money for that. So my mate just went and bought a sledgehammer and just dealt with it himself.
A sledgehammer seems way over the top.
I mean, how big? I drowned a mouse once, but it's because I broke its leg.
Oh God!
How big was this?
Sorry, what did you just? Maybe I shouldn't ask again. What did you just say, Carl?
I said I drowned a mouse once.
You drowned a mouse once because you broke its leg.
Yeah, but I caught it in a trap, and it was just like a leg caught in one of those proper ones, and it was just running under the fridge. So you just hear the trap clapping against the fridge. So it was fucked. I mean, it was. It was fucked.
That's drowning it, Carl. Why drown it? Why? Because you wanted to see the life leave. Again,
now I've said it publicly. It sounds bad.
It seems like an extremely odd decision to me.
I was just training for killing prostitutes, but I
didn't drown them.
No, I didn't want to do what Georgie. I didn't. There was a tool shed there.
Impact.
Yeah. I did think about the hammer, and I thought, I don't want to explode a mouse, you know. I thought. It was in a big. I won't describe it.
Just like in Save It Private Ryan, you were just like, shh. And the tiniest little stream.
Everything's going to be okay. Yeah, poor little thing. Now I think about it. I should stop saying things in public. But how big was this chameleon, though, George? Because they're big, aren't they?
It was only little.
Hammer it then. Hammer the cunt.
And it was fucked. Like at that point, it was fucked. It was the kindest thing to do. My cat my cat got hold of a baby rabbit one time and broke all 4 of its legs and just left it on the patio. And I went outside and I was like, what is that noise? And it was like making the most revolt. It was like what's it? Yeah.
Was it screaming, basically?
It was like Watership Down. It was like Watership Down times 1,000. So I just
How did you kill it?
Just slap it with a spade. And it was very peaceful after that. And like the
was it still screaming between smacks? Like, did it fight the death?
It shut right up.
I would imagine it welcomed said spade at that point. Poor little fucker.
Really?
I do. I worry because I haven't had to execute an animal in a long time, guys. And that's one of my worries when I'm out driving the car. I'm like, if I hit a fox, because this is pathetic. Like, is it pathetic? Yeah, it is. I still do. I always have a small torch on me because if I'm walking around at night, I don't want to step on a snail. And if I do step on a snail, I need to locate that snail assess whether or not it has any chance of life, and then end the snail, or try and recuperate the snail by like putting it on some grass or something. Because I will worry about that snail for an inordinate amount of time. It's not cool. It's just some weird OCD thing, I'm sure.
Do you
like,
think
if
that's
I
how
hit a
slugs
spot
are
or
made?
something, like I'd have to make some decisions, and I'm not going to tell you the entire contents of the boot of my car, but you know, anything up to and including a horse, I can take care of pretty swiftly.
You got a big syringe of ketamine in there.
If you drive a car, it's your duty to be able to put things out of there.
Do you know what, Greg? As I said, I'm about to get a car, so I'm going to keep a big syringe of ketamine in the boot, and a sledgehammer, a kind sledgehammer.
Yeah,
I hit a pheasant once, and I got out of the car and stomped on its head and took it home and ate it.
And there's that as well. Yeah, there's also the food aspect. It's
kind if you eat it.
Yeah. It's
fine.
wrong with that. I know people that claim to eat roadkill. I'm like, if it's your own, it's not your own.
Isn't there? There's a roadkill cafe. I think is it in America? It could be Australia. But you take what you've run down into this restaurant and they'll cook it.
As long as you store it alive a second ago and now it's dead, I say fair enough. But like, I'm not indeterminately long.
Yeah, if it's been there a couple of days and full of maggots, it's probably not the best, although extra protein abound.
And how are you going to enjoy eating anything you haven't slayed yourself, really? You know what I mean? How are you
brings us back to our humanity.
I need to remember the facial expressions of anything I'm going to consume. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. That's why I like Billy Bear meat.
He's still got that little smile on his face.
Yeah. What are you so happy about your legless slab of fat? You got nothing. You got nothing.
So that's reconstituted, right? So they get whatever it is, grind it up.
It's not real bear.
Stick it all back together and then make a face on it. Like what a weird.
It's real clown though. So
3 pounds of clown face, mate.
It's a horrible at some point someone has had to sit down and go like, right, now we'll make the bear's face out of these globs of dark flesh, these globs of pink flesh, and these globs of pale flesh. And I think that's gnarly in every way. And the more detailed the face is, like the clown's face, that's got more features. So they've had to discuss more things to do with reconstituted meat. One should.
It's definitely an odd one, but yeah, we've all slayed animals then, basically.
I think if you're here, I think you inevitably you have, and I know that there's certain religions and things that would prevent it, but even by accident, you can't.
Not very manly religions, are they?
Like even like very dedicated Buddhist monks will like brush the ground in front of them that they walk on, so they don't like crush insects or whatever. But it's happened. You're gonna have to accept that, you know, just by accident or design, you probably have killed something. Like,
yeah, nice.
If you brought a chicken breast from Tesco's, you've just contributed to some of the most awful animal torture ever.
Fuck them. That's so dumb. Chickens are fucking.
They are stupid. We should murder by IQ, I think.
Yeah, they're just like noisy plants, really.
And they're great in a curry. So,
I mean, yeah, exactly.
I sometimes think about going vegetarian for like multiple reasons, like health, maybe the environment, but I just can't. I love eating an animal that's was probably scared and put some Liam Perrins on it. It's like
you can't replicate that with Quorn. It's like it's the mastery of nature. That's what you know what I mean. I've come out on top, and all I had to do was, you know, I got fucking club card points for it.
You say mastery. You say master, Greg. I say dominion.
Yeah, I want to have dominion over something, and if it has to be a chicken, then the chicken's what it's going to be. It is very, very popular amongst even more like conservative-leaning people now to be vegan, because there is really and truly, if you think about it, that you can't win a logical argument for why we should factory farm and kill animals. and almost no one's in a position to be a hunter-gatherer. So you can end up talking yourself into veganism very easily. It's whether or not you want to have that conversation in your head.
Yeah, I've had it, but then I smell a steak, and you can go fuck yourself. I will kill everything in the cruelest way possible to get a steak.
Yeah, and I think you just have to. I think everyone really at the moment has just gone, no, I'm fine with it. I'm aware of the situation, but I am fine with it because of the convenience and deliciousness of it all. So I really think if what you need to do if you're super invested in animal rights is develop, like, go down the synthetic meat route or whatever, because it's going to take decades to turn the ship around otherwise. But if you can lab grow yourself a delicious bit of steak, fine, we'll do that. It's okay. I still get my steak. I don't really care. I'll take that. But yeah,
I just fuck them. If the chickens were 20 feet tall, they'd eat us.
Yeah, I do like that Instagram account. Do you follow Nature is Metal?
Oh, I have seen some of this.
Yeah. It is good.
It's good to have that on your phone every now and then for a quick reminder. Like when you're wandering around with your snail torch out. No, actually, that snail was just like jacked a woodlouse up for shits and giggles. That snail don't care. Yeah,
red and claw.
Jesus Christ.
This is the discussion you have to have after the veganism one to make sure that you can enjoy your lunch. Like, it's amazing. No, everything's full of cruelty and suffering. So, you just have to do that every now and then, apparently.
Look at
Fox
that.
Oh my
there
God.
You go.
Look how happy that is. It a frog it's eating?
And just out of shot to the right hand
Gecko.
side is George with a knife and fork. And just out of shot behind that is Carl with a knife and fork.
And you're behind that with your fucking snail torch.
Starving to death with clinging on to some half-baked moral about something or other that counts for nothing the second I get hungry.
My mouse.
That alligator. The picture of the alligator that got eaten by an anaconda.
Oh, the anaconda, yeah.
And the alligator kicked its way out of the anaconda's stomach, and it's just like, what is the point? What is the point? Like, nobody's winning there.
It's just mutually assured destruction, isn't it?
At that point, yeah.
I did the alligator thing in Florida as well. This crazy guy, proper cliche with a big beard and dungarees, and he was calling them finger biters. He's like, "Here, little finger biters," on the swamp boats and stuff. But then he got tourists to get out and stand in the water, get back in the boat, go around the corner, and there's like a female alligator with a nest just around the corner.
I'm all right.
Yeah, madness. Right. I didn't really think about the animal cruelty of it as well, because I held the baby alligator with its fucking mouth gaffer taped up. Whatever, it's just being posed by warm-blooded.
Who wants a photo of a taped-up alligator?
Yeah, I got one, and I feel bad about it. It's him with a mouse and the kids with cancer jokes.
It's better than a tiger on ketamine in Vietnam, isn't it? Like...
Yeah, I had mates who did that recently. It's like, "Oh, look, we're playing with the tigers." Like, no, you're not. That's a homeless man so gacked out of his fucking mind.
I watched Crocodile Dundee a little while ago, and it really pissed me off. Well, is it?
Right. It's probably something I remember from childhood.
There's not many crocodiles in Crocodile Dundee.
That is true.
One. Okay. For another, I thought Crocodile Dundee was meant to be some cool dude, but he's not. He just goes
Paul Hogan, mate.
Yeah, but that's the actor. I'm talking about the character. You know, Darth Vader is cool, but like James Earl Jones is not. He don't have the same cachet.
Watch him out.
Yeah, well, I just was pretty pissed off with
for the lack of crocodiles.
Well, there's like one.
Yeah,
because I think he's got crocodile teeth around his neck and maybe a crocodile skin boots or hat or something.
Yeah, well, they don't call him
Crocodile Dundee. The plot of the second one.
Third one.
Like
Isn't
they get more fully away from
in LA or something
very quickly. I imagine it was a practical decision based on the fact that it's very hard to get decent animatronic crocodiles back in '89 or whenever.
Yeah,
when,
plan to.
But yeah, and I remember there is a bit where he does stab a crocodile through the head, isn't it? And we're away.
Head. He stabs one. Away.
Yeah. And then he's shown the other crocodiles what the fucking time is. It's we don't. Yeah, but yeah.
Doesn't he use his bush skills to take down a mugger with like a tin of soup or something in New York?
Is that the second one? Because the second one, Crocodile Dundee 2, Dundee in New York, or whatever.
I remember him winging it, and it hits the mugger in the street in the back of the head or something.
That's Predator 2 in the city. Yeah, and the Predator starts using tins of soup. You remember that?
All these franchises find out very quickly it's incredibly expensive and annoying to try and film something on location in a jungle or outback setting. Can we not put all these things in New York? We can do New York. We've been doing New York for years. Like, can we have this crocodile?
It was almost certainly a production decision, wasn't it? It's like we're not flying a fucking Belize again.
Yeah,
wherever it was.
Enough's enough. Like, yeah. I don't know. There's a sorry, Carl.
Sorry, no, I was just saying. So we decided The Rock killed OJ's wife, but you go ahead.
I'll tell you what, that would be quite the twist,
wouldn't it? If that's what happened.
Now there's a film. The Rock. Like, if you're really committed to being,
be the murderer behind the grassy knoll in the OJ.
Yeah.
And also, no one talks about is it Ronnie Goldman as well? No one talks about the boyfriend as well, who also got horrifically murdered.
I know, he does get somewhat sidelined. The wife and the waiter, as Norm would say. Yeah, I'll tell you what I have seen. Nicole Simpson Brown, I believe, was his wife's name.
Right, yeah.
Or ex-wife's name. Anyway.
Certainly former.
Yeah. And her best friend wrote that book whilst the trial was still going on. And was it Lance Ito, the judge, had to tell the jury that they're not allowed to read the book because the fucking trial's still going on. That woman now is on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or whatever. And she's like, and that's obviously her big claim to fame, is that I was best mates with the lady who OJ Simpson did not murder. And she keeps dropping hints in this program, but apparently that other cast members of the Real Housewives of LA or Beverly Hills or whatever were somehow involved. That's a bold move. Sarah's watching it in the other room, and that's literally what's going on. Is she's like having all these dinner parties in this semi-scripted reality TV show, and she keeps claiming that people at her dinner party were in some way involved in the murder of her friend. It needs an ending, this story. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it does sound like an interesting one. I might go down that rabbit hole.
Corey Feldman.
Why not?
Corey Feldman talks about the abuses that he probably did.
Definitely. He dresses up like Michael Jackson. Someone fucked him.
Him and Haim. But he always sort of says like, if you pay me a certain amount of money, I'll be able to reveal names.
Yes. And he makes documentaries where he's going to reveal it, and then he gets to the end and goes, but I can't reveal it today.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm convinced he definitely knows some shit.
Yeah, but
with some famous, Hollywood celebrities who might dabble in youthful, exuberance.
Do you remember when who was the former? It was like was it Blink 182? The guy that's super into aliens.
Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, you remember when he went on Joe Rogan and he just kept saying, I know this thing, but I can't tell you about it, and it kind of became exhausting, and it was just a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then like a year later, everything's all just, no, aliens is real, and like, I'm
balls deep in it, and the WikiLeaks dump came out when the dumped all the Democratic emails, and there's Hillary Clinton and Obama's campaign manager emailing back and forth with Tom DeLonge about aliens or UFOs.
Bizarre. Because you have, whenever someone says that, you assume, oh, it's bullshit, you've made it up. Especially when there's money involved, because he was trying to raise money for stuff and sell things, and you just say, oh, well, it's bullshit, then, isn't it? But then every now and then you're like, oh no, that's a thing. That's a thing then, is it? I'm not saying that Tom DeLonge is the oracle of all truth, but the fact that we've managed to distract ourselves as a species from governments going, there's quite a lot of weird alien stuff going on at the moment, and no one's gone, oh, shall we care about that intensely for a long time? And no one had. Bizarre.
Funnily enough, I was talking about this earlier. This is a Freedom of Information request. There's an Inspector General investigation into the Department of Defense about what they know about UFOs because it's so secretive.
See, I'm already bored. See, maybe this is why. As soon as there's a slide, I'm like, no,
come on.
Enough. I just want to see things get vaporized or whatever. Like, I'm not interested in any. No, sorry, carry on.
Damn it!
No, I'm joking. I'm very interested, but I imagine that's part of it is sort of secrecy through obscurity. Like,
and also ridiculing it. So you get at these people to come out and ridicule it for years, and people just go, fuck off. I'll talk to anyone about UFOs after 5 pints. It's this year's Epstein for me.
But like it never gets any traction. Even if there's a video, look at this thing that can't happen in nature. Nothing. Like struggling to get like 10,000 hits. Like, TikTok.
TikTok. Everyone's just watching TikTok.
Bizarre. Sorry, man. Bring the side up. Tell me about the thing. I am interested. I was just trying to.
This is basically they're investigating themselves because it's been that secret.
Nice.
And the wording on here is fucking awesome. So, conducting interviews and site visits as necessary regarding procedures and actions taken to detect, collect, analyze, exploit, and address UAP activity. UAP is what they call UFOs now. So they're saying they've found some, they've got materials or intact craft or whatever, and they're now going to try and find out what you've been doing illegally and secretively for 70 years, basically. So there's actually an investigation by the Department of Defense into itself.
Nice.
It's quite interesting. That's like now.
What
so there we go. Hopefully they'll all come along.
Do you think that all the vaccinations and stuff are just a way of getting us prepared to be joined by entities currently unknown?
Can I point out to anyone that might fucking cancel my entire existence? All this is scripted and it's a joke. So yes, the vaccines contain a sedative essentially, so we don't panic when they.
That thought just occurred to me as a bizarre.
For when the mothership appears above Westminster, it's a sedative, so we all just keep calm.
Okay, fair.
Sounds like
we are extremely calm about it.
Yeah,
like, and it's a shame in a way because there's that I can't remember who said it. It's probably like Orwell or something, but it's like if like the threat of alien invasion would probably be what is necessary to unite people. And
Ronald Reagan also said it in the 80s.
Way down the other way of finding micro differences in everything to move people apart, and then you've got the looming spectre of extraterrestrial life. She's sort of there, and everyone's not fussed about it because
they've trained us to fight about whether or not you've got him in your bio online. That's what everyone's fighting about, that shit.
Yeah, Zer makes a lot more sense now. Now that the Zers are actually coming. Like,
what if Scientology was right?
Who knows, man? Who knows? Like,
we all owe Tom Cruise a massive debt.
Do you not think it could be that humanity's in its death throes? So, like, the party is coming to an end. Why bother trying to clean up at the end of the party?
Basically, our tenancy is expired and we're not fussed about our deposit.
There's a broken TV in the corner. There's lines of Coke on the kitchen table. The landlord's come round.
Daddy's coming home, but he's not our real daddy.
If he was, I'd suck him off.
I don't know. I do every now and then remember how many billionaires have got extremely elaborate bunker systems. Oh man, I wish I was a billionaire.
No, you don't. You don't want to be eaten.
Oh no, I do.
Yeah, it's something I think about quite a lot.
No,
I would make a space rocket that looks like a fucking dick and shoot it into space.
I mean, it's almost like they're trying to prove themselves the most worthy of keeping around, isn't it? Yes. Look what I can do. You know, I'm the. If you only needed 1% of us, I'm sure I'm in it. Look, I could do. It's the plot of Star Trek, actually, isn't it? That's why the Vulcans. Why am I being this lame? Anyway, that's the whole reason that Earth began to be the Vulcans noticed that we shot off into space and like achieved warp speed or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when they acknowledged our existence.
That's another thing I think as well.
Ready to know about interstellar travel. I don't know.
Or it's dimensional and a big zipper will just come down the sky and some massive thing will just poke its head in and go, level 2. Humanity level 2.
I don't know. I don't know anything. Maybe none of us do. That's the worrying thing. That's the other thing that the aliens thing makes me think is, no one's really doing anything because everyone thinks it's someone else is doing it. I think the US government probably went, we've got this on lockdown, haven't we? Someone somewhere is doing the aliens, and everyone's like, I thought you were doing it. I assumed that there was a big site somewhere where we did all this stuff. I was like, no, don't think so. Unless, Bob Lazar is the other one. I'm sure you've watched a lot of Bob Lazar.
So Lazar, so whether or not, I don't know what to think about everything, but he says they found one in an archaeological site.
Yeah, that's the other thing is of course, like, I mean, time. Once you start worrying about aliens, you can't really worry about time anymore, can you?
I love Stargate.
Yeah, exactly. It's you've got to assume there's a dimensional element to it, haven't you? I don't know.
I think so.
Or am I just being Alex Jones?
Bit of time travel. No. I'm balls deep in it. Yeah, I think there is. It's something weird's going on for sure. Whether or not they're us from the future or dolphins that have evolved.
Yeah. I just get on with it. That's it. I'm fed up of all these stories being in the middle. I'm fed up of OJ having no resolution. I'm fed up of aliens having no. I'm fed up of.
Let's find out.
Let's just see how this shit goes down. All right. I don't know.
Sinking ship.
Then let's. Yeah, I mean, probably. Yeah, we've probably got a couple 100 years left as a species.
That's my one thing that I go to, because obviously I'd be a bit tongue in cheek with it all, but you've got to remember that the Roman Empire fell, and that's like a blink of an eye ago in terms of actual time, isn't it? Like everything resets. Everything.
If the internet goes down, humanity we will be eating children within 3 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks.
What did you do in the food war?
I don't know why you've got to start with the children, but I know what you're saying.
Well, they're smaller and easy to catch.
And eight meals or something.
Make more as well.
Once you've drowned all the mice and clobbered all your chameleons, it's the next level, isn't it?
That's a horrible plot to something, isn't it? Probably fucking some Star Trek episode where they're breeding humans just for the meat.
The other hypothesis is the zoo hypothesis, and the whole planet is basically a fucking farm.
Well, yeah, I'll go with that.
And they come down occasionally and stick their little fingers up our asses.
Maybe we're
that's the bit I can never really get on board with. The why are we fucking around with cows so much? Why are you doing that, guys? And then maybe just say, to be fair to an alien, what's the difference between us and a cow? Probably very little. Like, probably
noisier,
less tasty, slightly less interesting, smaller eyes. I don't know. It's more irritating.
Maybe I think the thing is with cows, people aren't quite so upset if they go missing, other than the farmer.
Yeah, maybe. But then what are you going to do? What are you going to kick off against, interdimensional space aliens? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Alex Jones is sometimes, a broken clock's right twice a day. He gets a lot of things right, but then he always has to go to the interdimensional child molesters. But maybe they are. Maybe Epstein came through from the fifth dimension to, put Eastern European girls on an island.
Yeah. I think there's probably a brutal simplicity to most of the horrible shit that goes on, isn't there? I don't know if you need to chuck an interdimensional space alien into it to
every power structure. Why is it about every power structure want to start eating or sleeping with children?
Because they're vampires. We covered this at the beginning. The adrenochrome.
I did try to do this joke once. It's never gone down well. But I'm like, what is it about? I just wonder which way around it is. Is like, why is being a billionaire basically make you want to do that stuff, or is it making you want to do that stuff that allows you to become a billionaire? Like, what comes first? Like, I think, like, do you just hit a certain level and they're like, well, that's it now. Gotta go do some of that. Like, yeah, it seems, I don't know.
It's politics, it's music business, Hollywood, everything. Ultimately, at the tip of the pyramid is, essentially abusing children.
It's got to be.
Why? I get the whole secret club aspect. If you're gonna have a secret club, you need some horrible thing that binds you together in mutually assured destruction. I could sort of see that in a way, but you could just do that with like money and prison, and we've surely. I don't know, but yeah.
I remember someone I used to work with tried to rationalize Gary Glitter's behavior, and I say rational. I know, that's not quite perhaps the right word. But like he was saying,
Sarah wants to come into the kitchen and do things, and I'm saying it's absolutely fine because. Yeah, I think maybe Sarah's perspective on these things would be of use. Come on in, Sarah. Bring your dungaree.
Adrenochrome. What's your thoughts?
She's a nurse. Yeah. Is adrenochrome a real thing, Beans? Come in. You don't have to be on thing. Adrenal glands are real, aren't they? I think so. Yeah. Is adrenochrome real? She's never seen one. She's never seen one. I've seen people that. Have you ever sold them on the black market?
To Hillary Clinton, specifically.
You've seen people that don't have. What happens if you don't have a functioning adrenal gland? What like? Just really bad things. What like though? You never get nervous.
Oh, that's why.
So she's a fully qualified nurse.
Yeah,
but it's very experienced.
The trafficked victims don't get nervous anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
You would be extremely dangerous if you're not nervous. You'd be sociopathic, psychopathic.
So that's almost an official statement for the NHS, as far as I'm concerned. We're getting someone.
I say put it in your PowerPoint presentation, mate, and let's get this shit rolling.
Yeah. What I was going to say about billionaires, nonsense kids is with going back to Gary Glitter. Yeah.
Before you were so rudely interrupted. Billionaires, nonsense kids. Yeah.
This guy that I used to work with said, "Well, Gary Glitter probably never got told no." And think about how no, but bear me out. Think about how fun.
But it was in like Thai.
Well, no, I'm talking about like the 70s when he's like rising to power. And there's groupies, there's like sex is very sort of free and easy. There's fucking quaaludes and all the rest of the depravity of the 70s. The psychedelic.
I'm going to shit myself. Keep talking.
Okay. The psychedelic decade of abuse. And like these people get to a point where like they're used to doing whatever they want, to the point that whatever they want to do is it. I don't know.
I get that, and I get like the chasing the next transgressive high thing. So you've done all the drugs and you've done all the whatever. Yeah, you've gone bungee jumping, but like I don't know. I have to go ahead and assume that the desire to do anything like that has got to be in you first.
Yeah, surely.
Like you're not doing that on a whim, are you?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, or like I wonder what it would be like. That this is intriguing. Like or like I've been to the S&M club, and now all that's left is this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
Like,
makes sense to say that it's
yeah.
got to be in you already, because like a lot of CEOs, a lot of like, to get successful and to get to the top and to step on people probably requires a level of psychopathy.
Oh, 100%. Like, there is. I think it's pretty well documented, isn't it? Like
a lot of surgeons are psychopaths. A lot of athletes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that nonces aren't normal. So like maybe it's just a rank correlation. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
On
maybe
that note,
there's lots of nice billionaires out there that we don't hear about. I would like to say
Are
almost
there?
certainly. Oh, I'm sure, mate. I'm sure there's a lot very respectable.
Bill Gates has given me a free vaccine, so
what about the trillionaires? I've got to wrap this up in a second because I've got to finish that shit off, and then I've got to do something else. But what about the trillionaires who never on these rich lists? Because there are people richer than like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, right? Like the oil oligarchs and the funny money from the Middle East.
I think they're all fine. I like them all. I until proven otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're all real sound.
Yeah, me too. Otherwise, they'll novichok my tea. So yeah,
I think that's fair, guys. I'm going to have to wrap this up too. Greg's got a gig, I think, haven't you, Greg? You got to get away.
Barnstable, so I will leave you be. But yeah, thanks for
Barnstable. That's right. It was
opportunity to vent my more
nice conversation. We should do it again at some point. I've really got to finish off this shit because I did half of it. You know when you do that and you just run back to a podcast.
I don't, but I know that you do. So yeah, good luck with the rest of that. And,
thank you very much,
and
enjoy.
I'll see you in a bit.
Enjoy your gig, and George, nice to see you. I've got to do another call in a second. I've really got to finish this off, so I will speak to you in a bit if that's all right.
Always a pleasure. See you in a bit.
Nice one, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right, I'll press end. Subscribe to the podcast.